Welcome to the Tony Gaskins Show, best-selling author, celebrity life coach, and international speaker. The purpose of this show is to bring you motivation, inspiration, and education in the areas of life, love, and business. Thank you for joining me. Now let's get started. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Talks with Tony. Got an email from a young lady, and it says, "Dear Tony, I hope this letter finds you in good health and filled with blessings. I have been listening to your podcast for the past week every morning while getting ready for work. I respect the advice that you give, and I'm hoping that my letter gets picked and you can help me with my current situation. Thank you so much for listening. I'm currently in a relationship with someone that I've been friends with for close to 10 years now. We are about 7 months in, and I must add that this is a long-distance relationship. So far, things seem to be going great. We are in contact with each other every single day throughout the entire day. He calls me, and we talk while I drive to work. We text in between and FaceTime while I'm on lunch and every night before bed. The problem I am having is that his ex-girlfriend that he was with for 6 years is still very much in the picture. They broke up over a year now, but I found out from him that they are in contact with each other just about every day. They haven't seen each other in a year, but they are calling and texting one another. He says that it's just because they were friends originally before being together and that they are still friends now. He says that they are just checking on one another and that they share so much in common that they will hit each other up and talk about sports, etc. Let me add that he is a personal trainer, and he also writes her training programs for her every single week. Tony, in my gut, I am just not comfortable with this. I am not saying that exes can't be friends, but I feel that they are too close, even if they aren't seeing each other. I can't understand why they need to be in contact so often. He keeps telling me that he's in love with me and that he only wants me and that they are nothing more than friends. My question is, why can't he understand how this is making me uncomfortable and at least cut back on how much access she has to him? Am I being unreasonable? Am I being insecure? I would love to hear your take on this. By the way, I broke it off with him yesterday and told him that I just can't stay in a relationship with him and her still acting like they're together. And all he said was that he won't give up without a fight. But why not just fix the situation with his ex? Tony, please help me make sense of this. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for sending that email in. And remember, if you have a question for me, send it to inbox@tonygaskins.com. Now, I'll tell you this. It's just like with anything. You cannot move forward if you're looking backwards. You cannot, assume a new position. You can't accept a new job if you're still going to your old job every day too. Because now you can't give them 8 hours a day because you're trying to give 2 to this old job. But yet you're asking them for full-time pay. It just does not work. The same thing happens in a relationship. The thing about it with this guy, he is a serial, friend dater. So he gets in the friend zone and then he tries to come out of the friend zone and be more than friends, and then doesn't know how to maintain a relationship. So you end up breaking up and then he still wants to be friends. But the problem with that is it's so messy and it becomes so toxic that he can't move on and form anything new and real. Neither will the woman be able to form anything new and real. Because I'm here to tell you, and I guarantee you, his ex cannot be in a serious relationship right now because no man will be with her if she still talks to her ex-boyfriend every day and is working with him, and he is her trainer, sending her training programs. So what it is what it sounds like is this woman, this ex, is still very much interested in him and still wants to be with him and feels like this communication, this contact is better than no contact. So if I can have this little bit of communication and contact, then I'll keep this and I'm not going to move out of the way. And if I'm here, then I know it's going to make it hard for another woman to come in. She also is blocking every man that's trying to come in her life, but she doesn't care because she still has a soul tie. See, one of the biggest things that happens with relationships is we have soul ties with every person we've lied down with or every person that we've seriously, been in a relationship with. You form a soul tie, and that is spiritual. So what I mean by that is you think about them, you still feel them from time to time, and it takes a long time and it takes a lot of prayer and supplication to break that soul tie. You literally have to detox from that person. You have to leave that person completely. You got to cut them off completely. You got to cut them off on social media. You got to cut them off on the phone. You got to cut them off on the text message. You got to cut them off in every way. You may have to cut off mutual friends for a period of time. You may have to cut off their family members for a period of time. You have to literally completely break free in order to weaken and eventually break that soul tie, that spiritual connection, that bond that we form when we are in a relationship with somebody. And so he has a soul tie with her and he doesn't understand why he can't let go. She has a soul tie with him and she doesn't care that she can't move forward and that he can't move forward because truthfully, if you can be friends and then be lovers and then go back to being friends, you probably should be together. And it's just something off in the relationship that they need to have addressed with a relationship coach like myself. But they don't know that and they're not working on that. And so he is expecting to ask another woman to let him be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so to be honest with you, you're not being insecure. You're being smart. It's your intuition that's letting you know. And the reason why it's letting you know because you're a woman and you know what state of mind you would have to be in to break up with a man and still talk to him every day. You know where a woman's heart is at to be in that place. Because if a woman is fed up with a man, if a woman doesn't love a man anymore, if a woman wants more out of her life, she wants to move on, she wants to be in a better situation, when she breaks up with that man, she's going to cut him off completely. My wife doesn't still talk to her ex. I don't still talk to my ex. And when we got together, immediately from the jump, we had cut off our exes because you just cannot build something new if you're still focusing on something old. So you're not being insecure. You're not overreacting. And to be honest with you, this is what you have to do. You have to, in the beginning, in them first 12 months, I think you say y'all been together for 7 months. In them first 12 months, you got to make power moves. You got to make power decisions. You got to really make a point to make sure that you are doing the right thing for your life. Because what happens is, this is what happens. People get in relationships like what you're in, and they ignore these little things that can become big things. They will ignore what you are paying attention to, what you are addressing. They would brush it under the rug as, oh, I'm tripping. Oh, I'm being insecure. And then next thing you know, year 2, they're in deep, you're sexually active. Sometimes year 2, year 3, you can have a baby on the way. And then now, boom, you find out, oh, wow, when he sees his ex, they still sleep together. And you felt that in month 7, but ignored it. And then it came back to bite you in the butt in month 36. And so you're not overreacting. You're doing the right thing. It's the best thing you could do. Make sure, and this just in general speaking with anybody, if you leave a relationship and you want something different, you want to attract something new, guess what? You got to cut off what you had. You got to cut it. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful, but it is necessary for growth and progression. You got to cut off what you had. And once you have to realize that there are risks and there are gambles that you take trying to love intimately. So what that means is that when you love and you lose that love, you have to sacrifice some things. You will lose some things. And it is unrealistic to say, I can let this relationship go, but hold on to this person, and that whoever comes into my life has to respect that. No, you can't expect somebody to come into their life and intertwine their spirit in your spiritual mess, in what you have going on with this other person. You cannot expect that from them. That is unfair to them. And they have a right and they have a choice to declutter their life and to keep their spirit pure and whole and not get tangled up in a spiritual love triangle. That is their right. So if you can't let go of your ex, that's a sign that either you need to work it out and get back with them, or you are not ready for something new yet. And you gotta sit still and stop being selfish, sit still and work on you and pay attention to what you're feeling and address those feelings. But you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You either gonna eat it and get full, or you're going to have it and let it sit and look pretty. But you can't do both. Because if it's sitting and look pretty, then you can't eat it. And when you eat it, you can no longer look at it. You cannot have both. You got to choose. You want to move forward and build something new, or you want to stay in the past and continue to work on and cultivate that friendship and relationship with your ex. That's the choice. So, young lady, me personally, your brother from another mother, just giving you my 2 cents, hoping it don't make me bankrupt, I say you're doing the right thing. And what he may do in a week or two, he may say, look, I cut it off with her. I cut it off with her and it's done. He may be telling the truth. He may be telling a lie. If you enter back in with him, you got to move slowly. You can talk to him just as much, but you got to keep your eyes open. You got to keep your ears open, and you got to ask questions. So a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, you got to say, hey, have you had any contact, with your ex? Are y'all still, talking? Listen to him. Listen to his voice. See if he sound like he's lying. See if you hear some shaking in his voice. See if you hear some stuttering. If he say, well, yeah, we talked yesterday. So now what he's doing is he's trying to reel you back in, and he's trying to hit you across the head and knock you out, make you lose your sense. He's trying to lull you to sleep. So now I got you back. I got you hooked. Especially if he gets you in the bed. Now you really going to feel like you hooked. And if you already been in the bed, you feel like you hooked. So he might try to reel you back in. So guess what? If you give somebody, and it's male or female, whichever way it's going, if you give somebody an ultimatum for your standards, because you got certain standards, you got certain requirements to be in a relationship. If you give somebody that and they say, okay, I will adhere to that because it's not going to kill me, I'm not really losing anything to respect you in that manner, what you are asking isn't unreasonable. And if I put the shoe on the other foot, I can see where you're coming from. Because imagine you, young lady, if you were talking to your ex-boyfriend every day and you and your ex-boyfriend still working together every week, he gonna feel some type of way. And if he says he doesn't feel some type of way, that's when you know he's full of it. He might like men and just be dealing with women as a cover-up, or he doesn't want anything real serious with you. But it ain't no man who is a real man who want a full relationship and who want a woman and want to be faithful to that woman and want to build something real. It's not a man in the world that's going to be okay, that knows himself as a man and is a confident and secure man that's going to be okay with his woman having conversations with her ex every week. Unless they got kids together and they only talking about them kids, and he can be in earshot of that conversation and hear how that conversation go down and make sure that it's all on the up and up. So if he takes and he try to reel you back in and he say, well, look, if you talking to your ex, I wouldn't care. And you buy that, and then he reels you back in, and then you're in and you fall deeper. He make you fall deeper because he give you more time and attention, and then turn around and you find out a month later that he back talking to his ex and they don't got kids together, you ain't mentioning nothing about no kids, so I know they ain't got kids together, then now that's when you know you got somebody trying to play you. And if you stay after finding out the second time, then you playing yourself. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Tony Gaskins Show. Make sure you hit subscribe, on iTunes. Google is creating a podcast app, so if you got a Google phone, get ready for it. If you have a question for me, send it in to inbox@TonyGaskins.com, inbox@TonyGaskins.com. Thank you so much. God bless you. We'll talk soon.